Hello and welcome to another episode of Spooky Squad Investigates. We're here tonight in the PennyComeQuick Pub, where there have been numerous spooky happenings. Tonight we're undertaking an all-night vigil to see if we can find any evidence of ghosties. We're here in the cellar of the PennyComeQuick Pub with the landlord, Colin Monks.
Yep.
Could you tell me how long you've been a landlord here?
Been here for 20 months now. Yeah, I haven't personally seen anything, but I've heard noises, but not seen it. My nephew's seen things,
Yeah.
but I haven't. I mean, you hear things. If you're down here, working sort of in the cellar, you can hear it's like people walking about upstairs.
Right.
But I know my nephew saw, they were in one night, and they were sitting, where we were sitting on the table there, and figures walking past, and that. I've certainly heard things, not physically seen anything yet, so you never know, maybe that's going to happen tonight.
I understand that you both experienced some spooky happenings. Would you like to tell us about them?
Well, it's not much really. I used to like stay here and look after the place for the previous landlord and landlady, and sort of being asleep upstairs, you'd hear like creaking. Don't know whether it's an old building, but I've been behind the bar by the kitchen, and I've like felt a pat on my bum, and apparently there was like an old landlord that used to go around and just give you like a friendly tap. So I felt that, and that wasn't really spooky, but it was just sort of say hello and carry on. But there was no one else in the pub.
I've seen a shadow in the doorway as you come into the bar, and I'm not just myself, but other people seen it that I've been sat with. And when you say, "Oh, did you see that?" I was like, "No." And then after it's like, "Yeah, I did see it, but like I didn't want to say nothing." And also going into the bar, into the lounge, going past the bar, by the bar, people seen people walking past. And apparently a young girl got run over on the main road and came in and went into the lounge, followed somebody in. And obviously the doorway as you come into the pool room. So I mean, whether it is true or not, but I mean, I've been coming down here for years, and I've always, I mean, I believe in it, and I've always took it, and I have seen figures myself, but I mean, whether it is, you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Could you tell me a little bit about the history of the pub?
Well, as far as we know, we understand that this was a freestanding building. The houses next door and further on weren't here. The nearest thing was the prison, which was 100 yards down the road. There's a tunnel here, and if you can see the tunnel, you can see the shape of the tunnel there, and you can see the shape of the tunnel back there. And this runs round the side of the building, in front here, up to the end, and then back. We've actually blocked off this end of it, purely because it was a bit of a nuisance, because we wanted to use the space. But I mean, there were windows in there, which again we've blocked up because it was just, you know, problem with dirt and everything, so we blocked the holes up. But this has been blocked in here. You need some sort of light to see around that corner, but you know, you can see that they've built a wall. Now we believe that this was, at some stage, was a mortuary from the prison, and we believe that the tunnel did go along, but we haven't found anything there, because where it's positioned here, very front of the house, it would be under next door's front room. But these houses next door would have probably been, they were built around 1900s, wouldn't have massive foundations, so it's not like they would have dug down and maybe found this, because they would have gone over the top of it. If you go into the first part of the cellar, there's still flagstones on the floor, which are original flagstones. Here, obviously, this has all been concreted over. There might have been a tunnel leading out the other way towards the roundabout, because apparently there's a house underneath there, under the roundabout. But we're not, again, these stories come and go, but I mean, we believe there is an actual house underneath the roundabout. They just covered it straight over and filled it in. If you look at this section here, the way that's built, that's exactly how the windows are built on the rest of the building. So they're all on this side, and that goes all the way up the building. And this again is a similar style. Whether this was a doorway originally or whether it was a window, we're not quite sure. The guy who had this also had a bridge across the creek here, and they used to charge to go across it, and he was a sort of like the toll master sort of thing. And that's, again, people say the penny come quick, it's about the penny, but I think the penny would have been quite an expensive ride across it, so I mean I think that's not quite right. The other thoughts are that it's a Cornish phrase for head of the creek.
Oh, what's that? What would have been through there then?
Well, we haven't worked out. We can't work out what that would have been, because it's tiled. We think it might have been some sort of trap to come get things down here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wouldn't be something like coal because of the type of tiles they've got on there. You know, they're a sort of a white tile. You wouldn't put coal down there. They wouldn't have tiled it for coal. It would have just been rough, either concrete or brick. So it wouldn't have been a coal chute. This would probably have been at the chimneys.
Right.
Because if you go up through just trying to work it out. If you follow that line straight up, that would go through the top bedroom, and there used to be a fireplace in there, but it's gone now. But so we assume this would have been part of the chimney. Originally, the cellar was entered from the lounge bar through a hole in the floor. And then obviously they've built a staircase in it since then. So, and obviously this has all been done up in here and concrete up. So we're not quite sure why that's been done. The actual layout of the cellar has been altered several times.
Our medium this evening for our trip to the PennyComeQuick is Sheena.
Good evening.
What we're going to be doing now is having a brief tour of the downstairs and cellar areas of the pub, just to see if we can pick anything up with Sheena's help.
Right, immediately I came into this room, I was aware of a young girl present, and she turns out to be a scullery maid. I would say in the early days of this building. Her name is Tilly, and she tells me she was a sweet little girl. She used to scrub the stone steps, and she got all the mucky jobs to do, but quite happy. I'd put her at about 16 years of age. So she inhabits this room over towards that corner there. He's not very happy that I'm actually here and that I can sense him. All I'm picking up at the moment is a feeling of anger, so I'll have to see if he will communicate anything apart from the emotion of anger. If you have something to say to us, then I'm ready to listen. This gentleman's language is quite colourful. He's not happy with me being here at all, and asking why I'm here, and basically telling me to get the hell out. I've got to move away from him at the moment because all I'm getting is verbal abuse. He doesn't like the idea that we're here doing this. Right. The impression I get that this was actually the tap barrel man that was in there. He used to see to the lines, so he worked in the pub. Whether he was the owner of the pub, I don't think he was. I think his job was the cellar work. He was a cellar man, and he took charge of the deliveries because he's very much being drawn to the pipes. This was his domain. That's why he wants us out. This is his domain, and we shouldn't be down here. Alright, so the more information you can give us, the quicker we'll go. He doesn't like me. In fact, he's calling me a witch. Witch be gone, actually, he's saying. I don't think Tilly actually comes out of that area. I think she stays within that area. I don't think she'd want to come in here with a cellar man anyway, to be honest. It's not very nice. I'm picking up a fatality of broken neck, male with broken neck, from falling through the chute. And I don't feel that it was an accident either, that he was actually pushed down the chute. Come on, my love, talk to me then. He's doing this. He's doing this. Will you give me a round of applause? The scene I'm being shown in my mind is that he was actually kneeling on the street and he was doing this. He was praying, he was asking, pleading for his life. But he was sent down the chute anyway. He came in head first. I would say that the man was in his early to mid 30s. The style of dress is three-quarter breeches, but more like a fitted type jacket. So this wasn't a down and out person. This was somebody. But he died from a broken neck anyway. This room is very atmospheric. I'm expecting to see a hearth here, a fireplace, chimney breast. I'm seeing that as an open hearth. For an open fire. You'll probably find, if you dig into the archives and the researches, that the Masons used this room for the meetings, for the Masonic meetings, secret handshakes. There was a lot of doings going on down here. This has a completely different feel. I know it's warmer, but it's got a completely different feel to it, to the main cellar part. That's quite sinister in there, whereas in here it's quite pleasant. Apparently Tilly says that him in there is a grumpy old sod. Oh. I'm not picking up anything in here at all. The pub must have been used by ladies of the night. There's one in there.
There's one in there?
Yes, there's one in there, yes. She's quite colourfully dressed. She has a red shawl and she wears a hat with a feather in it, and she's working. I presume the structure has been changed at some point, because the feeling I'm getting is that the bar wasn't always there. In the corner we have a gentleman there, spot, but he was a regular of the pub, and he just went home one night and sat down and died of a heart attack. His heart gave out, but he was a regular here, almost lived in the pub. I would say in his mid to late 70s actually. And his name was Bob. feeling a brawl took place in this area. There was bound to have been fights, isn't there? Not going, but this is the energies, the residue of the energy of that fight is still here in this area here. But all I'm feeling is fighting and blood being splattered. So it was a right big punch up.
We're now going to have a quick tour of the pub. I'm standing here at the barrel hatch, and this is where Sheena, the medium, suggested a man had fallen to his death, not by accident but in fact being pushed, and he fell awkwardly down there and broke his neck. Now, because of the sense of movement that might generate through the principle of stone recordings, we've got a motion sensor here to detect any movement that might happen during the night. This is a very interesting part of the pub because we know that the building was built in about 1850, but there's still lots of different opinion as to how this area was used. The landlord has suggested that it was used as a morgue. Sheena suggested that it was used as a meeting place for masons. This is the cold room where the barrels are kept, and this is where Sheena detected the spirit of what she called the cellar man. Apparently the cellar man did not like her presence. Now apparently the cellar man was quite happy with myself and the cameraman, so it will be interesting to see if we have any reaction when Anne is in here for a half-hour shift. This here is what I've called Tilly's Corner. According to Sheena, it's in this area here we have a very weak energy of a scullery maid. We're now upstairs at the PennyComeQuick, and it's here where allegedly the spirit of a young girl has been seen, in between the toilet and the bathroom. So once again we have a motion sensor that we've positioned there, which is in an ideal place to see if there is such movement here at the top of the stairs. I'm now standing in the lounge bar, and it's here where a shadow has been seen walking from this door here, moving through and through the bar there into the kitchen. Also, Sheena pointed out over in that corner a regular by the name of Bob, and it was later discovered a sign next door saying Bob's Bar. So that finishes our roll through the PennyComeQuick, and now that the tour is finished, it's now up to us to begin our vigil.
We're in the cellar of the PennyComeQuick, and we're about to start our vigil for about 25 minutes, just to see if we experience any spooky goings on. It's difficult to know if you can hear things as well because there's so much traffic going past.
Yeah.
And then you've got the noise of the generator or whatever that is outside.
Yeah, that is really noisy, isn't it?
Mm. I can't kind of feel anything out of the ordinary really, which is a bit strange because you think you would, because they've got all the tunnels going down here. And especially if this was a mortuary originally as well, which is what they think. You can hear kind of noises that sound as if they're coming from the tunnel over there, but then you don't know if that's because the cars are going over and disturbing the mortar or something like that.
You scared yet, Anne?
No. See, that intrigues me in there because I don't know what it was for. And then you've got the chains on the wall.
Yeah, it is odd, isn't it? It was quite funny. I took a photo there of this area, and when it came up, there was a figure in black standing there, and it was Anne. Feels a bit chilly all of a sudden, doesn't it? Just check the thermometer here. Right, it's dropped 4 degrees in the last half an hour.
I'm feeling really cold. Suddenly, it's gone really cold.
How would you describe that sound
It's
from over there?
It's kind of like a metallic tapping or something like that.
Yes, exactly. I would use the word metallic. Try and reenact it. Is that the nearest?
Yeah, a little bit. It's more solid than that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, with the temperature dropping outside, we're going to get things
Yeah,
contracting, aren't we?
But I have been hearing something from that direction ever since we got here. It was like a sound of something dropping, like soil or something like that.
Oh well, see if the other guys can... Obviously we won't mention it to them.
Notice how the temperature has risen since we've been in here. It's my hot, sexy breath. It'll be interesting to see if it still keeps going up. But it'd be interesting to do psychological tests and even ESP tests, that sort of thing, with some of the witnesses who have apparently experienced such things.
John, you go back upstairs? No? Anything spooky so far now?
Possibly. I saw a blue light upstairs, but I don't know because it was in a room where there weren't any curtains and there were all the cars going past. But I kept an eye on all the cars going past and they didn't seem to create any kind of reflections of lights or anything on that wall. So I don't know.
The idea is that sometimes when there is psychic phenomena, it draws energies, and often water is associated with an energy that can supply a psychic force. Quite often it's said that you'll get natural spring water or certainly running water near to a haunted house. So we're going to look at that amount of water in there and see if the volume goes down at all over the next couple of hours. All is quiet in the ladies. I think this is the most atmospheric part here. It might be because it's probably the darkest, as soon as I sat down, about a second after, I thought I heard a very, very slight sigh, a female sigh. I haven't heard anything since then, apart from a few noises coming from the bathroom there, but I think that's more the plumbing. But yes, this is definitely, in my opinion, the most atmospheric part.
I didn't need to say that actually.
It feels to me more as if something's going to happen in here.
Yes, it does, doesn't it really, yeah.
That's probably how you hear if there's anything unusual going on, because there's so much traffic going past.
Headlights flashing through as well.
Yeah.
So.
The other thing is, this is darker than anywhere else I've been so far. Feels more spooky than the other rooms because it's really dark in here. And apparently this is an older part of the pub than that bit through there. I'm trying to attune all my senses and everything to spot everything, but because you've got the traffic going past, you can't, if you hear something, you don't know whether it's just the traffic or something spooky.
It almost feels spooky, but not in a sort of a menacing way, more sort of a very old sort of way.
I get the feeling that the ghosts, if there are ghosts here, are actually kind of almost friendly ghosts. I mean, you've got the one that's supposed to pinch barmaids' bottoms, and then they've seen a girl who was involved in a road traffic accident, I think. Because I would have thought that you would have had more, if this was built near to the prison, and if the bit downstairs was actually a mortuary, I would have thought that you would have had more kind of spirits from prisoners and things like that. The ghost is a camera shy. I don't think they want to be filmed.
Look, if you're not drinking, would you please leave?
Lights out, everyone. We're just going to do a bit of EVP now. Okay, what I'm going to do now is read out some names, two of which are associated with, well, possibly with hauntings here. And I'll be recording with the dictaphone here, and to see if we get any registerings. Okay, so we need to be really nice and quiet so that we hear any bangs or words. I'm going to read out the names now. Mabel, Claire, Tilly, Veronica, Lizzie, Eleanor, Rebecca, Bob, Stuart. Anybody get any noises?
Something possibly on Rebecca.
On Rebecca?
I think so.
Right.
Possibly on Bob.
Okay. So with Rebecca, did you feel like a draft?
No, I just heard something down there. You know that sound I was talking about earlier on, like masonry or something falling down?
I think it would have been interesting to do a Ouija board here, but the landlord wasn't really up for that, and that's fair enough.
Well, there's definite noises coming from down that tunnel. However, it's dripping water from the gents.
It's right at the end.
Well, it's not from the gents, but if it's dripping water, or is it something more sinister?
Right, down now, Lee. Now, before we go in, I'll show you stepping, John. Oh! Sorry about that.
What is it, Chris?
Cobweb. Now, before you want to go in.
Right to the end?
Well, the cobwebs.
Well, go through him.
Yeah, go for him, Chris. Right. There's one cobweb. There's a well up here, John.
A well? Oh, wow.
It looks like a well. Oh, no, it's not. It's my figure of imagination. This is like a prison maze, this is. You make me feel like dancing. It's boarded off here.
So where would the original wall have gone then?
I don't know. But this is the end of the ward, and it leads back to here. Right, we found a trapdoor, walls with broken things on. It looks like in the 1800s. Door that leads to the pub. Door that leads to the pub here. And the walls just look like they're very, very old. Yeah, that's a brick ceiling, that is, there. I bet you want me to lead the way back, yeah?
Are you scared, Chris?
No, I'm not scared. Right, what's these bars for then, Lee?
But why would there be a window there when there's obviously there's nothing to look out on?
I can hear things in this tunnel.
Well, we're standing here directly below the barrel hatch where Sheena claims a man was pushed to his death. It's certainly very interesting down these tunnels. Certainly that way, and also not least this way as well. Now we've got no idea what these various windows and inlets are for. We can see that this has been filled in. Certainly downstairs, underground at the PennyComeQuick, it's a very interesting spectacle. As we came up and turned right, that's where it was all blocked off, wasn't it? As we were going up, straight ahead was blocked off. So it was going that way, and that way. So a linear tunnel joining Stonehouse Creek, possibly, with Devonport Prism. The question is, why would there be a tunnel joining the two? Do you sense anything at all?
No, I didn't know. I've been trying to. You see little bits and pieces and you're looking around trying to figure out what you're looking for.
I've got something on the camera.
Yes, we've sensed a couple of things.
Oh, good.
Ian, did you didn't really get anything, did you?
No, afraid not, no. Nothing ever report back on that.
And you picked up on a few things.
Yes, there was a noise down in the passageway I kept hearing, and there was also upstairs in one of the rooms. I thought I saw a blue light, and it was kind of going up the wall, and it was quite... I don't think it was anything to do with the cars going past, because I checked them afterwards. But it just seemed to go up the wall like that and disappear.
I had that weird light thing in the corner, and the dripping noise in that tunnel thing. So it really just the light thing in here.
Yeah, I thought I saw an orb on the corner of my eye like that when I was with Ian down here, and I kept on putting the torch on, and I couldn't see anything, and then every time I did it, I looked in the corner again and I thought I saw something going like that.
Apart from the headlamps flashing off that there and the flashing bog, no. My usual sensitive self.
Yeah, as for me, I've just heard a strange sigh by the bathroom upstairs. Yeah, it was very muted. Sounded like a lady or a young girl.
I'd just like to say thank you to Colin.
Pleasure.
And yes, I think that's it for this episode. We'll have to see if we've actually caught anything on camera. I personally didn't really feel anything. I thought that I would kind of feel the presence maybe, but I didn't. So that's it for this episode of Spooky Squad. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what